thank you for joining us once again. Welcome. See, I just totally cut you off. It's been a while. I got to find my groove again.
Me too. Trust me. Daily search for the groove. Daily groove search.
Exactly.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. If you don't know, this is the amazing, freaking uber talented Guthrie Trapp, Nashville guy. This world extraordinaire. Friends of stars and
GT International, we like to call it.
Exactly.
No, I kid.
The best, if you're coming to Nashville too, and you just happen to get on one of Guthrie's videos, ask him good restaurants to go to. The best restaurant guide in all of Nashville.
That's because I'm a bachelor and I don't know how to cook. It has its bonuses, and but I'm like I say, I like to say this: I'm the best guitar player on this side of the couch. On this side of the couch, I'm the best.
It's definitely true. All right.
Kidding.
So today, simple chord progression, but we were talking about in both of our videos, people kind of get confused when people start talking about playing over chord changes. I think that a lot of you were saying that a lot of people take different ways of saying the same thing and think it's a bunch of different things that all mean something different when they really kind of mean the same kind of a thing.
Yeah, what I've noticed lately are, I understand, man, this is hard. This is a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of ways to look at this stuff. So what I try to do is lately I've been trying to simplify as much as I can and be as clear as I can on some of these things. One of those is, you have to, there has to be a way of learning this information. And what we do is we take a big chord and then we're trying to look at like somebody like me says, play over the chord. Well, people go, well, what do you mean play over the chord?
Yeah.
Well, the chord is the foundation.
Yeah.
Without the chord, we have nothing.
Okay.
This is the first sound that we hear. And it's either major or it's minor or it's seven or flat seven or a major seven. So that's the first tonal information we're getting.
Right.
So
the chord progression is.
Well, the chord progression is A.
Right. So we got a major chord.
Major chord, B minor.
Right.
To the 4 chord.
Okay. And what progression would that be? What would that be called?
It's just kind of like a little R&B progression.
Is that a 1, 2, 4? Was that
kind of a little Memphis? Like a that's 1, 2 minor.
Okay.
4.
Okay.
And 1, and of course the numbers are based on the degrees of the scale.
Okay.
Wrangle me in here, baby. Don't let me get off the subject. No. It'll happen in a split second.
Okay, so
what I'm trying to explain is you got the chord as the foundation.
Yep.
Then the next level of information is the arpeggio. You're picking out the arpeggio, the 1, 3, 5, and then sometimes I'll add the octave.
So those are the notes of a chord.
Those are the notes of the chord played.
The basic chord.
An arpeggio is the notes of the chord played
separately
by themselves.
Yeah.
So what we have here is A.
So the 1 is the root.
Right, and then this big chord, we've got 3 roots. We've got an A here, we've got the octave on our D string, then we got the next octave on our high E string.
Okay.
So we're repeating ourselves a bunch in this chord already. So what I like to do is take this chord and get you playing get you looking at the triads, which are the 3 note chords and within this big chord.
So those are the root, 3rd, and 5th clusters.
That's the root, 3rd, and 5th clusters. And the thing about playing over the chord is it's meant to see this big shape and see the target notes in there, the key notes of this chord, which are the arpeggio notes. It's to memorize those so you can have like a home base to always go back to.
Okay, so do that thing you just did.
So this is the chord.
Clusters.
Here's your we're going to go 3 strings at a time. We're going to go from the top down. We're going to go E, B, and G. The strings, now not the notes. So that's my 1, my 5, and my major 3rd. Now we're going to go to the B, G, and D string, and I'm going to play. Now these stay the same. My 5 and 3 stay the same, and we're going to add the 1 now is on the octave. It's on the D string. So now we have this triad. Now I'm going to add the A string and just play the G, D, and A strings. Now my 3rd is on the G string. It hasn't moved. My 1 is on the D string, and then the 5 is on the A string, E note, 7th fret. And then the next the next triad, we have to get out to make it a true triad, which is 1, 3, 5. We have to move out of this chord position and go to this shape, which is 1, 5, 3.
Which is
and then there's your 1 again.
which is a shape you see in R&B stuff all the time. It's those cropper licks.
Yeah, and technically that's your D shape.
Yeah.
Because there's your 3rd, right?
Okay.
So to get back to this, what I'm saying is I think guys are looking at the chord, the arpeggio, the pentatonic, and the scale as being all these different things. When you need to look at it like that when you're learning, but the goal is to get that under your belt, and then it all becomes the same thing.
Yeah.
The chord, the arpeggio, the pentatonic, and the scale,
Yeah.
it's all the same thing.
Yeah. It's all shared
It's
notes.
just ways to play over that A major chord,
Yep.
right? And then another thing is when you're in the key of A, so we're just using this as an example, the key of A. When you're in the key of A, you're in that key. That's your world. That's your universe. You're in A.
Yeah.
But when you go to the 4 chord, you go to the 4 chord, you're not changing keys, but you're changing chords.
Yeah.
So you have to outline that chord if you want to make it sound like you're playing over the chord changes, which a lot of guys do.
Yep.
You have to actually play out of that chord change.
You have to accentuate the notes of a D from the A scale.
Yeah, the notes that change in your lead playing
Yeah.
are the notes that change in the chord.
Yeah.
It makes total sense. It's just a matter of learning it and listening,
Practical example.
and you have to practice it. These things are going to take time.
Okay, so
you know.
I'm going to go from A.
But watch, it's
D.
not to cut you off, but it's this simple.
You just did.
Just going from like so to go from my now don't play any rhythm. We're just going to use this as an example. To play from A to D, all I have to do is take my pentatonic or now you're using the pentatonic to get around. So it's like this groove. It's like my girl.
Yeah.
1 to the 4.
Yeah.
Here's the groove. Here's the riff. Steve Cropper might have come up with that. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
I don't want him coming over here in the middle of the night yelling at me.
Guthrie!
But that riff is brilliant because it covers that chord change, and it's as simple as they could come up with.
Yeah.
That's it. It's that simple. It's just a matter of really, I think a lot of this stuff, to be honest with you guys, a lot of it just gets really overthought because guys don't know what to do. They're like, we have to show them what to do because we're the ones with the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Well, and
there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that don't feel bad that this stuff is taking a little bit. It takes a minute to click.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I think that a lot of people just, they don't ever, like when I was personally taught, I was shown a scale and what would work over a chord progression, but nobody went and said, hit these notes in the scale. You know what I mean? And accentuate these notes. So I kind of relate it to like the scale is a map, but the chord tones are the destination you want to get to in the progression.
Yeah, and I'll show you this real quick. I'm going off the map a little bit.
All right, go off the reservation.
But I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you this. We're going to get back to this chord progression in just a second, but I want to show you a real quick example of combining the chord, the arpeggio, and the scale together to go from one chord to the next.
Okay.
And this is something we can elaborate on later down the line or whatever. But I'm just going to show you. We're going to play out of the key of D because it's a good position for this example. Right out of this A-shaped D chord. Now I'm gonna outline this chord by using the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 1, right? So I'm gonna play 1, 3, 5, 1. Straight up arpeggio out of D. Now what I'm gonna do is, when I get to this note, the octave, that D, I'm gonna use the scale now. And I'm going to end on G. So I'm using the D major scale. I'm ending that scale on G. So part of the problem too, I think, is a lot of guys are playing the major scale and they're not knowing when to stop the cycle.
Yeah.
It just goes from start to finish over and over again, and there's no, where do I stop? What notes do I stop on? How do I get out of this never-ending cycle? I'm on a hamster wheel with this scale. How do I get out of it?
Yeah.
Well, this is how you get out of it. So it's the notes you land on, and you have to really listen and pay attention to the chords that you're playing over. So I'm just going to go, this is going to be from D to this G shape right here. And I'm kind of combining the major third. The way we're hitting it in this position, it's a combination of this chord and this chord, the A shape and the C shape. Because if I was to play my major third, I either have to play it here or
Wait, hold on one
here.
second. So A shape and the C shape, it's the same chord.
The same chord.
It's a different kind of inversion or
Well,
whatever.
yeah, and I'm not
Same spelling of the
See,
chord.
I'm in this position right here over this A shape.
Yep.
But in order for me to play my major third right here in this nice comfortable area, I have to dip out of this shape technically.
Yeah.
I'm either going to have to go into my G shape to play the third,
Yep.
or I'm going to have to dip into my C shape to play the third.
Okay.
But I'm still playing this, basically that.
Yep.
It's that, there's a little
Yeah.
massaging there you have to do. But getting back to this
Makes
idea.
guitar feel good.
Yeah, it's a nice area right here, right? So I'm going to go up the arpeggio, D, and now I'm going to go down the scale. Now I'm ending on G. And now when I end on that G note, now I'm going to use that as that arpeggio to cover that chord. I'm going to do the exact same idea in G, going through this arpeggio. Now I'm using part of the E shape in the G chord, but E shape to get the major third. 5, 1 out of that D shape, but I'm right here. Now watch, I'm going to go to the 5 chord by going down this G scale. I'm ending on the major third of the 5 chord in the key of D. So this sounds like this. It's melodic. It covers the chord changes. It's using the arpeggio, the scale, and some chord tone notes. This is a great lesson that I would like to expand on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
maybe not right this second because it's a lot, but it's the way to get out of all those questions.
Well, what we could do too now is, since that's kind of familiar to the chord progression that we had, or similar, I should say, what would you do where we could add that 1 chord, 2 chord, and 4 chords? So we have the 2 major chords in there, kind of like what you were just doing, going from the D to G.
Yeah, let's get back to A and D minor and do our original.
So let's do that same, if you can, do that same kind of thing that you were doing, but do it over those 2 major chords, and then show them how to do it over a minor chord too, right? That kind of arpeggio idea over a minor chord. So what the minor shape looks like.
Okay.
So the first would be the A chord, which would be show them that same thing in A that you just showed.
Okay. So here's your A chord. Now I'm trying to figure out a clever way to get to the B minor. So
just show them those arpeggio shapes.
Yeah. So here's your E shaped A major bar chord, the big boy.
Yep, big dog.
The big dog. That's your big boy right there. You got 3 A's in that chord. So we're gonna start now. I'm playing this chord like this with my first finger barring everything, obviously. But when I start my scale or my arpeggio, I'm gonna start it with my middle finger on the root.
Okay.
Because look how nicely that positions the rest of my fingers.
Yep.
I don't even have to move anything.
Okay, cool.
So hand position is also a big thing that is with the cage system, can help with that also.
Absolutely.
Just the hand position makes sometimes searching for the right note easy, because if you look at this, my hand's going to fall in the right spots without even having to think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's my scale. Watch how nicely this fits. I don't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
So there's that. So here's the arpeggio. 1, 3, 5, and then 1 again. That's your first octave.
Okay.
Another thing that I'm realizing that helps is looking at a big chord like this in 2 octaves.
Yeah.
Because I could play this. That's a lot, right? So what I want to do is I'm breaking this down into to make it simple. I'm looking at it in. So here's the first one. Here's the second one.
Okay.
Same with the scale. If you look at it in 2 octaves and then combine the two, I think it's a little easier to learn that way.
Yeah.
It's not so overwhelming.
Bite-sized chunks.
Yeah, it's bite-sized
Yeah.
chunks. So there's your arpeggio.
Okay. Okay. That's the first.
That's the first octave.
Show 'em the second one
Here's
more.
the second octave.
Okay, now since let's stay in major chords, so we also have a 4 chord in there. How do you do that in that same area with the 4 chord, like over the D?
Okay, so what I'm going to do here is when we drop from this chord to this chord, whether it be say we're going from D, say our next chord is E, the 5 chord.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with these type of bar chords, it's the same information for each one.
Okay.
And the only thing you got to be careful about is the B string because
yeah.
it's tuned differently,
Yeah.
right? So you got to alter those. But when I go through this arpeggio, I go to D.
Same
It's
thing.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
When I go to E, same, right back to
Okay.
A.
Perfect. Now, what about if it's a minor chord?
Okay, so if it's a minor chord, let's just use A minor. Let's use A and A minor for the example.
Okay.
So here's my, and you really got to listen too, because a lot of this is really focusing on listening to what you're playing.
Yeah.
Because ultimately that's what we're going for.
Yeah.
We get stuck as guitar players looking at visual.
Yeah.
It becomes so visual
Yep.
that we forget what we're doing, right?
listen to it, yeah.
That's a sound that we're going for. So here's your 1, 3, 5 in a major chord.
Yeah.
Here's a minor chord, flat to 3. So then we're going to go 1, flat 3, 5.
Okay.
So instead of this, we get.
Right.
So I'm adding that scale note just for an
Yeah.
example, but this is your major third, and then your minor third is this, or.
Right.
That's how I'm looking at that. Now, depending on where you want to do the arpeggio, I could do it out of this G shape. I could do it out of this E shape. Right? So there's 2 different. So this is the beauty of the guitar, is it repeats itself a lot.
So if we put all the chords together and we just stick with the arpeggio idea, I'll play a chord, let it ring. You play the arpeggio idea for each chord, and then they can see how just those 3-note clusters sound.
Absolutely.
And then what we'll do is we'll take the A major scale, and then you chain them all together in a more melodic way.
And don't let me forget, like, we're not going to overwhelm you with every single 5 position of the cage system. Let's just do these 2.
Yeah.
Let's do the G position and the E position.
Okay,
And I'll
sounds
show
good.
you how to do both
All right,
of those.
Perfect. Ready? A chord. Okay. And then now for the B minor. D. And then back to A. Okay, now if we added the...
Now that's as simple as it
that's
gets.
as simple as it gets.
That's 1, 3, 5.
Yeah.
Which that's what it takes to make a proper chord.
So if you can put the, we can still think out of the caged way of doing it, but if you can tie it together in a little bit more musical of a way, I'll play the same chords the same way.
Okay.
But like as you did before, how you were playing more of a melodic idea.
Right, and I'm on the fly, so no extra charge for mistakes. but and sorry to be so serious here, folks, but I really want you to learn something here. All right, so.
Are you telling me or them or both of us?
I'm telling myself. I'm looking in the mirror here, man. I'm looking in the mirror.
Pointing like this.
Yeah. So
Always pointing back.
that's why I always wear a hat. I always look at. So okay, so look, before we do that, let me show you one other thing. So to complete this octave, you can also do this.
Yep.
1, 3, 5, and then there's your 1 again.
Okay.
So if you need that to complete the,
Let's do that.
So what we'll do, let me show you this in each chord. So here's your A. And then the octave, and then the B minor, we're playing out of this shape, by the way. So I'm looking at. flat 3, and then just the next 2 notes of this bar chord, right?
Yeah.
But without the flat 3, we just get this. So you got to add that. So, and then D, and then back to A.
Okay. Beautiful thing there.
Now,
All right,
do you want me
so-
to just stick to that on this, or do you want me to elaborate a little bit
No,
more?
elaborate a little bit and show them what the A major scale looks like, so they know what you're going to be playing out of it. Like in the position, you're going to be playing out of those 2 positions, right?
Okay, I'm going to try to stick to this, pretty much this shape, or G shape. Now, here's a little piece of information on the G shape.
Okay.
Nobody in their
Right
life
mind
is
does
ever
that,
going to play
yeah.
this whole chord,
Yeah.
okay? So when we talk about the G shape, folks, we're going to think of it in this section, and then you have that
Yeah,
section, which
exactly.
you're going to use the least.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe every once in a while you're doing the Rolling Stones
Yeah.
where you're going to go,
Yeah, exactly.
it's great for that. But other
Yeah.
than that, nobody's
Right.
going to play this full
No,
chord.
nobody.
So I'm looking at these little parts. Right,
Yep.
that's our pentatonic.
Yep.
We're looking at these things. So I'm
Okay.
just throwing that out there that you don't have to play this big.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're not going to have any extra fingers to do anything interesting after that. Nobody wants to hear this big.
Unless you're 8-finger tapping. Okay.
That's crazy. Okay, so
So-
anyway.
I'll play real slow.
Yeah, super slow.
2, 3, 4. Now, take it one step further and just do like little bends and little things
Right.
like to where, because I think people get hung up at like maybe they see you
Well,
play.
they get hung up with playing it like I just did.
Yeah.
Which is just real stiff and not much creativity there.
Right.
Now, what I did there, folks, I will say this. I arpeggiated even a little bit more through those chords just
Yeah.
to try to keep the rhythm going.
Yeah.
I got a little self-conscious with
Yeah.
not playing enough. Imagine that. And so what I did was I kind of cross-picked through.
Okay.
Don't let that term freak you out. But what I
Yeah.
did is I just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I picked through those notes
Sure.
a little bit more.
No, but that's okay though. But it was the same
all right.
shapes.
Okay.
So what I
don't
want to
wanna
do.
jump too far ahead.
No,
Yeah.
what I'll do now is I'll speed it up a little bit, but keep the same basic idea, but show them like maybe bending, half bends or
Right,
whatever,
right.
and add
I'm
a
gonna-
little feel to it.
Right, and what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to incorporate a little bit more of this shape. I'm going to incorporate the 1, 3, 5, 1. I'm also going to use the major third a little bit here, a little bit of this pentatonic shape as well. I'm going to start incorporating a little bit more information here.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, so a little chord progression.
Yeah, let's do it.
Pick it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's perfect. Now, the thing I like about that is a lot of that are the same arpeggio shapes that you use, but you skipped a string in between it, so it became a different kind of an intervallic sound.
Right.
So if
Right.
you're going to go over, give them some simple examples. If we went over the 1 chord, what are some of those?
And so here's the thing. We're showing you these shapes. Now, I'm sticking to this because we haven't drifted out of this shape
Yeah.
yet. But ultimately, I'm not going to hang out in these low strings a whole
No.
lot. I'm going to use them to get to the notes I'm wanting to get to.
Right.
Which is the beauty of an arpeggio, is it's the quickest way to outline the chord perfectly in a matter of a split second.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a split second, you're outlining.
Yeah.
If somebody plays this, I know it's A major.
Yeah,
it
or
can't
even
be anything else, or even that.
Yeah.
You know that's A major. So I'm a huge fan of going up a lick with an arpeggio and then maybe back down with a scale.
Okay,
Because it breaks it up. Because if you don't do that, then you just sound like this all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so let me play that again, and
If you want me to go completely off the reservation,
no, hold on,
Okay.
stay on for one more second.
Okay.
We're drawing a circle. Let's stay in it, and then we'll go out.
Okay.
Okay, so show them an example of what you just said. So you go up with an arpeggio and out with a skip.
Well,
Is that what you're saying?
here's what I'd like to do. Before we even do that, let me just play more of a full arpeggio
Okay.
around these
same
chords.
Okay.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Right, I got a little off the reservation there, and I went all over the place
Yeah.
as far as chord shapes, because I just want to show you like the ultimate goal here with the arpeggios, and we'll get to the scale in a second, but if a great practice is to just do what we're doing here, but like I did there, I played through the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I played through. You can jump up to that high note if you want. You don't have to. I'm just completing.
Yeah.
Another part of this is if you're going to play in time, you kind of have to complete the
cycle.
The cycle.
Yeah.
So if you're not playing in time, it doesn't matter. But to play this, let's jump up to this section for a minute. See, you gotta. Part of it is the phrasing and the timing. So if it's going in a way that I know is not going to end right, I'll add something to it to make it feel
fit.
right.
Yeah,
it's got to fit.
Yeah.
So, but more on that. But
Okay, well,
you see what I mean?
I do.
Mean,
So-
and ultimately, it's this. It's like, and I'm just going through 1, 4, 5
Right.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
to freak you out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, but so
that's what you're aiming for.
let's play it a little bit more up to a Guthrie speed.
Okay.
Play how you'd normally play, but now that we kind of see where you're coming from, I think a lot of times people get intimidated because they see you flying over the fretboard and they have no idea even what
Right.
you're doing. And so this is
Yeah.
basic components of how you do what you do. Obviously,
Right.
you throw in bends, you throw in chromatic licks, but the genesis of it all is basically these little clusters of 1, 3, 5 arpeggios.
Well, it is, and I'll show you something really quick. Just while I'm thinking about it, it's as simple as this. It's taking this A triad, and as I do this, that note, 1, 2, 3, just that scale degree right there. Well, if I take that out of that triad, the 1 up to the 3, and then I take the major third here, and I do that part of the scale. If I add those together, and it's really not even important to separate it like I just did. If you just look at it with this dyad, this major third on the B string, 2nd fret, and the 1 on the 2nd fret G string, if I just take that and go up the scale, up into that shape here, we're totally picking this apart. That shape, that's my A.
Yeah.
Now, if I take this shape back to there, guess what that makes?
Yeah.
There's a B minor.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're just playing right around these chords. Now watch.
Well, even the
Now watch. Then I go here. Because there's my 4 chord.
Yeah.
There's my chord. There's my dyad.
yeah.
Right down the scale.
Yeah.
Right back. Here's my 5. because here's my E. There's my E7 because there's E9. I'm getting a little complicated, but
Sophisticated.
right there. But
Yeah.
so right, if you want to go up. That's all out of the scale. I'm just using these notes to make it these little harmonies to make it more interesting.
The dyad was cool, but the thing you started with too was really cool because it was showing.
Right.
And then you went. And then you can go.
Right.
What I see you do is a lot of times you lead into the next chord, which would have been.
Right, totally.
Yeah.
And what I did, and then look, as a matter of fact, here's your A. That's why the cage system is so important.
Yeah.
Because and what I'm trying to get guys to realize too is, they're like, well, why do you want to teach me all these chords? And I go, well, man, if you really, really want to gain freedom up the fingerboard, you have to learn those chord shapes.
Yeah.
Because everything is inside these chords. And it's not that you're going to play all these chords forever. It's that the key to playing melodic and really great lead guitar like you guys want to do, it's in these chords.
Yeah.
This is the way to never be lost on the fingerboard.
Yep.
Because you're seeing these shapes everywhere you go. Yeah. Every lick I play, if I do this, guess what? That's a fancy way of going. Guess what? That's that chord.
Yeah.
I'm literally going. My hand's going right to the chord shape.
Yeah.
It's the chord.
Yeah.
And it's the reason why we sound like we're playing over chord changes is because we are.
It's because you are. All right, so
we are. It's right out of the chord.
Let's trap.
Anyway, we're getting off track a little bit. But
Trapify.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the lead-in thing cool.
Right. That's what. So you've yeah.
Yeah, and then
Look.
yeah. Where's the?
And then watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then watch. E7, because
Yeah.
there's your 7. Now watch, you really want to go fancy. E7, or A7, add the G. There's your D, right to the major third, right into that chord. Well, what happens is you're starting to see and another really important thing when you're practicing this stuff is you'll hear me add the bass note so you can hear what chord is being played over what. But what we just did there was a lot, but you're exactly right. Going from that scale note to the next one, going to the third of D and hitting the bass string so you can hear it. And then watch.
Yeah. That's basically a 1-4-5.
That's a 1-4-5.
Yeah.
But when you go to this note here, that could be D.
Or the B minor.
It could be D. It could be B minor. It could be E7 or
right.
back
Is
to
E7
A.
is that
It's this shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because watch, if I take my A shape right here. Right, simple stuff, but melodic.
Yeah.
Because it sounds so nice. Not that I'm not saying that I sound nice, but those ideas sound nice.
Bragging on yourself again.
Because they're melodic. Because they're exactly what you want to hear because they are the chord.
Well, and here's the one of the things that I really
out of the chord.
Really want to impart to people is I think you'll get a lot more satisfaction if you can play slow melodically with feel than you can trying to play fast.
Well,
At first, and then once you got the base of melody and you're playing, you can always speed it up.
Well, that's exactly right, and nobody wants to hear this. And I equate all this stuff that we talk about with music and guitar. It's so parallel with anything you want to do in life that takes some effort.
Yeah.
I equate it to working out or getting in shape or eating right or and getting exercise.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not a big muscle head or anything, but if somebody tells me that I need to, that if I want to get in shape, I have to start tomorrow morning by running 20 miles.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, well, you know what, man? That's just not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I'm going to die of a heart attack.
Yeah.
But if they say, like, look, man, what you need to do is you need to start by walking around the block a couple times tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Well, hey, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm thinking I can do that.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to work up to where it needs to be. Like, man, this stuff is, I have nothing to gain or nothing to lose by showing you everything I know about the guitar.
Yeah.
No matter what we learn from each other, we're going to sound the way we sound.
Yeah.
I'm going to sound like me no matter what Brett shows me, and he's going to sound like him no matter what I show him. So I'm an open book. I want to show you guys exactly what changed my life when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Do we need to make a living? Of course.
Yeah.
That's why we're sitting here.
Yeah, right.
But I have nothing to gain by hiding any of this information.
Right.
I want to show you guys what works. And man, it's going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. But if you learn these chords and these shapes and this information around these chords, and you're able to see these key notes in these chords, you are going to become a better guitar player.
Yeah.
There is no question.
Yeah, the case
There's
is
no question about it. And I'm not trying to sit here and sell Ginsu knives. I'm just telling you that, man, it works.
It does work.
It works because, let me tell you, when I was 13 years old, I learned how to play bluegrass with a bunch of hillbillies on the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
And I was stuck playing open positions licks in the first 4 or 5 frets of the guitar. And I knew one little blues pentatonic and a couple things up here, and that was it. I was stuck. So when I watched this guy's video and he talked about the cage system and learning the scales around the chords all the way up the neck, man, I was off to the races.
Yep,
I was done. That was it. It was everything.
All right, let's jam it out.
What are we going to play?
Same chord progression.
Hold on, I got one.
Okay. Oh, well,
I'm just
that's a
kidding.
good one, too.
That's it. We're fired.
Okay, so now let's do same thing. Just do it your own way. Don't worry about people being able to digest it or whatever.
Okay, I'm just going to play like I'd play it.
Yeah, play like you play.
All right, cool.
2, 3.
Man, that was almost in tune.
Exactly. All right, so once again, this is the awesome, amazing Guthrie Trapp. Check his links down below. I'll leave some information down below. He has a wonderful course from the Artist Works company. You got your own school. It's amazing.
Thanks.
Super, super, super worth checking out. I'll leave the links down below. So always check the description box down below. There'll always be some stuff you need to know.
Thank you.
Wiggity, wiggity, whack. All right, I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.
All right.